Okay, getting back to this is the second part of that video that I was making about what was happening to me and my son because I was illegally experimented on. The other video, well, actually, I made two other videos, but um, couldn't upload them, and then the other one just somehow got deleted off of my laptop. So, in dealing with what I've been dealing with, that lets me know that they've already backdoored my laptop and they got some kind of virus or something on my laptop where they have access to it. No big deal. Get rid of this laptop and get another one. At an event, what ended up happening with Adriana, because I just got tired, but she got it a little, she got it right. She ended up trusting me and stuff like that. But I could see that, and I had dealt with this from a few women prior to her, and some of the women that I was messing with. It's like dudes have did them wrong, and they think every dude is like that, and that's sad. When you got to look at where you walking around and you thinking that everybody that come in contact with you is up to something. That's a terrible way to live life, you know. But eventually she ended up trusting me. And a little down the line, we ended up getting to a relationship. But the girl that was staying in my house, Jacqueline Zavala, that was in the bathtub with my son and everything, she had kept her phone number. I don't know, maybe she had the spyware on my phone and that's how she got it. Whatever though, she had kept the girl's phone number from when she was texting her and acting like she was me. But she ended up trying to be her friend and telling her that Adriana to get my information, where they can open accounts in my name, and then she'll pay her. And so what ended up happening is, like, about a month after this, Adriana ended up telling me this. Now, when she told me, then of course she claimed that she didn't do it and everything. But I don't trust that. Like I say, I'm from the streets. Been around a lot of crafty people, so I immediately get on the phone with Experian to get a credit report. And sure enough, when I got the credit report, I had some stuff on my credit that I had never applied for. I had established my credit, or was establishing my credit, by opening a Connectica account because I didn't really have credit. So I opened through Nick's Check Cash, and then you go and you get open a Connectica Federal Credit Union account, and then you get the secured credit card. Then that's how you establish your credit. And I would just put money in that account, but I would never mess with the money. That was kind of like an emergency account or whatever. But all of this mess led up to Jacqueline ending up messing with Adriana, but telling Adriana to keep messing with me. So in other words, and what they call this is called, I think military dude told me it was called, she was a honeydew or a honey drop or something like that. This is like a code program, a government program that they're implementing in the ghetto. But of course, it's went rogue and stuff like that. It might be some police or some military, or most of the time, military dudes, they serve their time in the military, then they get out, and they become police, or they become correctional officers. So in my initial beef was with the sheriff that got in trouble, because he maced me holding my baby, and I'll get to that. But he maced me holding my baby through a screen door in Watts, and there's plenty of people that remember that situation in Watts because I had a lot of people riding for me about that. But and then they beat me up. But this dude had a controlled substance in his system, and so he got in trouble about that. But I ended up with a domestic behind that, which it was something that I didn't even do. I'm in my apartment. My baby mama come over drunk and high and trying to force her way into my apartment. She didn't even live in LA. She lived in Moreno Valley, but our baby was young. Our baby was 1 year old. She would come down for the weekends sometimes, and sometimes she'd spend the night and we smash or whatever, and then she go to her mom's or go to her homegirls or some, a dude she messing with or whatever. And sometimes she just spend the whole weekend, at my apartment. But this particular time she came down and, we had a incident and my neighbor called the police on her. But of course, when the police come, especially in Watts, I'm the black dude, so I'm the guilty one automatically. But I'll tell that story later because I got the paperwork to that too, and I'm gonna be putting all these documents online because I was successful in court with all this stuff. But then this is why I'm doing these videos to kind of give a blueprint because it's a lot of dudes in LA and really just all over that's going up against the grain. There's a reason why they arrest us on bullshit. There's a reason why there's 35 jails and prisons in California. There's a reason why prisons and stock market are on the stock market. There's a reason why you have private investors, some of them in the prisons, private investors in the prisons, some of them are technological companies. There's a reason for all of this. All of this shit has been put into play, and it's a system, whether you believe it or not. Do your research. But at any event, Jacqueline ended up using Adriana to try to stick to me all along. One of the two, I'm not sure which one, is a police officer or either a confidential informant. On my civil case papers, where I settled my civil case against the LAPD for them falsely arresting me, put my son in foster care. I'm going to show you where it shows on it. I probably should have got all that paperwork together before I started this video, but it's just kind of doing a test run, to see if I can even upload a video. I might have to go get rid of this and go buy another phone or something and upload a video, but that's why I'm doing this to see. But I have documentation that will show the whole thing that I went through in court and all, and this was tiring. These people are still on my bumper. What ended up happening is that some kind of way, one of these officers, or either Jacqueline messing with the officer, or because she ran up to a police officer when I called 911 when she was getting all ruly all up in my face and stuff like that and hollering and screaming because I was putting her out. So I called 911 because the building that I was in, nothing but Hispanics. Of course, if there's an altercation in my apartment, she runs out of my apartment and she thinks like this. She has wicked, just, diabolical, but she would run out and I'm already knowing if she run out and knocks on one of these neighbors' doors and they're Hispanic, she's from Honduras. So, she speaks Spanish to the Mexican people that's in my building. So if she runs out and she knocks on one of them doors, one of their doors, anybody's door, and tell them to call the police, of course they're gonna help her. Of course they're gonna take her side. That's just how I've learned throughout the prison system. That's how Hispanics get out. It don't matter if they're right or wrong. They're gonna help each other, whether they're right or wrong. See, with blacks, if a black person is wrong, we're gonna tell them about it. We're gonna still kind of sort of have their back, maybe not now, especially nowadays. It's different, but back in the days, we would check a black person that's in the wrong doing some wrong shit. Like, man, you way out of pocket with that. But I've learned with Hispanics, they don't care. When it comes, well, at least the Hispanics that I was in prison with, because in prison it's always it's a race thing. It don't matter what hood you from, it's a race thing. And really they have brought that to the streets too. And you can really see. With black men getting shot and killed by the police and nothing's being done. Just how racist it is, and people are saying it's because of Donald Trump and everything. And believe it or not, Donald Trump has provided jobs, or he's not provided jobs, but the economy is a little better. I'll put it to you like this. The economy is a little better. But politics is politics. Democrats and Republicans, to me, it's all the same thing. That's just, like if you work for a company and you work on one floor and your homeboy work on another floor, in a different department. Same company, just a different floor, different department. So, I mean, you can go to lunch with your homeboy and y'all gonna talk and shoot the shit, but at the end of the day, he got a job to do and I got a job to do. So that's how I look at Democrats and Republicans. But at any event, it was just a lot of mess. But these people were intentionally trying to shut me up. And they were trying to shut me up because I was speaking out about being illegally experimented on. This remote neural monitoring, everything in your body works off of electricity. And because of that, you have your body produces a electromagnetic, let's say, sphere around you. That's why if you walking in on carpet or whatever, and then you touch something, you could shock something. It's because the static electricity is built up, and then it has to be released. But I mean, well, whatever. But at any event, your brain works off of frequencies, and gamma rays and different little rays and stuff like that. It's all frequency. That's all frequency based. When you read to yourself, just like you see this video and you see me talking, that's me using my voice. But if I don't use my voice and I just read to myself, inside of me, I still hear a voice. I don't know, inner self or whatever, however you want to call it. Some people say that's our soul, the soul of a man, but whatever, there's a voice. Well, they have technology where they can bypass the ears and connect to that voice, that inner voice. Now, if you hear somebody else's voice say something to you in your own head, then that's strange. They might consider that, mental ailment, a mental ailment, or like hearing voices. But if you hear your own voice, then you tend to act off of that. And just like if you think to yourself, like, oh man, you're talking to yourself, but in your head. So you might be playing something back that you've already experienced, or you might be thinking ahead, trying to map out a plan or something that you have to do. But bottom line, they have technology that they have created, and there's U.S. patents. I'm gonna post a paper from 1956 up until 2003. Now here it is, 2019, but this paper stops at 2003, and it's probably like, I don't know, anywhere between 20 and 30 devices, and they're like mind control devices that they can send thoughts to your brain. Like, for instance, if you're having, this is one side of your brain, it's another side of your brain, and it's trying to communicate. Like a thought has to occur for me to move my hand, move my arm. That has to be transmitted, to the arm, and then the arm reacts. So say this is one cell and one cell, and they're trying to communicate with electricity, because that's how we communicate with our brain. Well, they figured out a way to jump right in the middle of that. So if this is transmitting something, bam, it stops, and then they can interject, put something else in before it gets to this brain cell. It's really, it's fucked up. It's really ingenious, but it's really scary. If you're thinking one thing, and then all of a sudden somebody from somewhere else, from a computer or from using a satellite, can send a frequency to your brain and interject that thought and change the thought. That's really scary because 9 times out of 10, you're going to act on that thought because you know it's coming from your brain, not realizing that that thought has just been intruded upon and rerouted. That's scary. But this technology that they have, remote neural monitoring, but they have all kind of stuff. There's a device that is only used in government institutions and stuff like that. iBrain, iBrain by Neural Visual, a company out in San Diego. Now, the device that they use on me when I have a little sleep study done, it looks like this. It looks like that device, but without the little fancy straps and stuff that go around and everything. It was just like the prototype, I guess. But what it does is it's a EEG reader, a scanner, scanning your brain waves. Well, if they scan your brain waves and they know your frequency, then that could be put into that can be calibrated with a computer. And then they can interpret brain thoughts and stuff like that. But the thing about this is, if you have more than one person that you have done this to, then you can take this person's thoughts and interject them into this person and then make it seem like this person is thinking that when actually is this person's thoughts. I don't know if that makes any sense, but just like editing a movie. Just like editing a movie. You can stop at some point, take something out, and put something else in, and then keep going. Well, that all that shit that's wicked. That is wicked. You're not even safe in your own thoughts. But this is the stuff that was done. These girls found out about it. They told my sister, which is from one of the biggest churches in California, West Angeles Church, Sister Robin Cole. But and I'll show pictures of her too, and us together when I was young and she was older than me, and we were at Disneyland. But at an event, I don't know how exactly how everything took place, but they got paid money, and a whole lot of money. This money ended up in my bank account that I told my oldest son that I was closing the account. I still had money in, and I actually called him. He was supposed to meet me somewhere on Crenshaw Boulevard, and I was going to give him some money, and was trying to check in on my account, trying to log in to my account online on my phone, and had been locked out. But just the day before, I talked to my son. I told him I was closing this account. I just didn't close it that day. I was taking the money out this next day, and then I was going to give him some money, and then I was going to take my youngest son and go buy him some shoes, and then whatever left of the money, I was going to take it out and then close that account because I had 2 other accounts. But that account was only to establish my credit. Well, I did that. So, but at any event, when I couldn't get into the account online, then I called the automated system and punched in my card number and everything, and a little passcode and everything, and was inquiring about the balance. And the balance was an astronomical amount of money. And I'm like, whoa. And I was like, wait a minute, let me hit the button, hear that again. And it was, again, an astronomical amount of money. But it said that this money was being transferred or had been transferred to another account, another bank or something. So I was like, man. So at this particular point, my son pulls up. We was at some little store or whatever, waiting for him to get there. So he pulls up. And so we get out, me and my youngest son get out, we go to his car, and I tell my son, I'm like, man, I just checked the bank account, man, and I got like a huge amount of money, and this is scary. And he was like, what you mean a huge amount of money? And so I'm like, oh, I'm gonna let you hear it. And so I punched in the numbers again. I dialed the number again, automated system, punched in my numbers and everything, and put it on speakerphone and let my son hear it. And his eyes got big as I don't know what. And he was like, where's that money come from? I said, I don't know, but this scares me. This is the type of money that people will kill me, you, and your little brother for our whole family. This is the type of money. It was a whole lot of money in my account, and then that money was transferred, and it said settlement, as if, like something happened and I got a settlement, and this was the amount of money, but it was a huge amount of money. And so I was like, man, this ain't right. I'm like, I'm gonna have to call somebody about this, because this seems like somebody did something illegal and they did it through my bank account. This is a setup. And I'm like, and so what I did is I hit the customer service up, on the phone. And I was like, look, I'm having problems getting my account. I think somebody changed the password and my I was just online yesterday on my phone, and now all of a sudden I can't get on my phone. And she was like, okay. So she typed in everything or whatever, and I was like, I need to know the balance of that account. And she read the same balance that we heard the on the automated system. She read to me, and she was like, yeah, and that money was just, or it's being transferred or something. And I was like, yeah. I was like, I need a history of that transaction. I was like, is it possible for you to fax me that transaction? She was like, let me go check with my supervisor, because this is a lot of money, and I've never dealt with nothing like this before. I said, okay, yeah, get your supervisor on the phone. So she got the supervisor, talked to her on the phone. They were looking at my account, and I was like, I don't know what's going on, but that money's been placed in my account. You see, that came from an outside source. It was placed in my account, and now it's being transferred. I said, this sounds like this is definitely something illegal being done, but I need you to fax me the information from that transaction. She was like, okay, we can definitely do that. So I'm like, I'm at Nick's check cashing, so could you just fax it to Nick's check cashing? Because I wanted to have everything documented with businesses where they would have a record of everything. So and they did. They faxed and everything, and I'm gonna show you that, and I'm gonna show you the amount of money that was placed in my account, in my Federal Credit Union account, and it was transferred. But all of this stuff was, what it ended up being is that some rogue police officers that was responsible for me being illegally experimented on had connected with these girls. And since I was close, and they might have been the ones that initially, because it was strange how I met Jacqueline at my son's grandparents' house, but they may have planted her there, hoping that since I'm home, I'm fresh home, I'm just going to be somebody to hit, to smash or whatever, and I was going to jump on it. And it didn't really go like that, but it ended up being like that. But at any event, these were a group of people working together that knew that I was illegally experimenting on, and they changed it to something else, got it patented, and sold it to somebody. And that's where that money came from. And now they've been slandering me and harassing me and my kid and everything to try to shut me up, But like I say, there's many paperwork, there's much paperwork, a lot of documentation. I'm still in court with all of this stuff. I've already sued LAPD, and they settled the case, but that was for falsely arresting me, producing falsified evidence, malicious prosecution, and withholding evidence from the court that would have proved my innocence. But at any event, that was over. I left California and moved. And ever since I moved, these people can GPS me with the capabilities of remote neural monitoring. I'm pretty sure that if it's something with my brain, they can see all my passwords and stuff like that. But regardless of all of that, this is stuff that people really need to check into, because I'll just tell you, when they experiment on people in jails and prisons with something, it's to perfect it, to tweak it and get it right so they can use it on everybody else. And you can see a lot of strange stuff going on in the world right now and everything. And especially, I'm going to say it again, with the situation with Nipsey Hussle, that just looks suspect. If you, and I grew up in that neighborhood. I grew up over there, not that far, just on the other side of Slauson. But been to that shop plenty of times, took my boys to that shop. If it's not just no outsiders coming up in there over there like that. So that's how I knew instantly when I heard that he was shot. I knew it wasn't either he was somewhere we wasn't supposed to be, but then they said he was at the Marathon store. That I already knew that was somebody that he knew that was close to him, because they just ain't just you're not gonna be anybody and be able just to walk up in there and infiltrate like that. So I already knew that. But then again, at the same time, it's like that whole situation was just strange. If dude is a rat and this dude gonna say the same thing, people that tell, just like these bros that were manipulating dudes that was already in jail, that was locked up with me, and I'm telling these dudes, now we all in the pro perp module because everybody representing themselves, but I'm telling these dudes, these bros that's coming to visit y'all, they telling y'all all this bullshit about me, and the jail community is small, so I know some of these dudes. I did time with some of these dudes. I went to war with some of these dudes. So I'm telling these dudes, though, these girls that's coming to visit y'all, and my sister's involved in all of this and this police stuff, man. Get the money. If they put money on your books, accept the visits. Don't be running your mouth about nothing, though, especially about your case. And you represent yourself. So it's not like you have an attorney and you tell an attorney stuff, and an attorney can check into the stuff, and then he's talking to the district attorney and talking to the judge. You were in control of your case. You were in control of everything. So the only way that they can figure out something and try to win, because it's about, in court, it's about who wins. These people know that jail is a business. So they're gonna do everything they can to convict you or to get you to take a deal. But if you ain't did nothing, take it to trial. If you haven't did nothing, take it to trial. But the only way they can find out anything about your case and what your plans are and what motions you write in anything is by these bros. That all of a sudden now that they telling you stuff about me, and they're using this technology, and everybody on the road, and that's another thing. Everybody on the road, Denver Row, and the Pro Per Module 2500 Able Road. You guys know the technology that they was using on me. Police showed you how they was torturing me with this mess. So you guys know how I can control your thoughts, how I can make you say stuff, how they can keep you asleep, keep you in a trance state and stuff like that. You all know. A whole lot of people in LA County. I got numbers of people and hookups of people that know about this, that's willing to say something. But you guys know, everybody that was in 2014, that was in that county jail system, Denver Row when I first got there, and then when I went pro per and was in Able Road 2500, y'all all know the technology that the police was using on me to torment me in there. 21 police officers after I was acquitted and everything, and a year later, 21 officers or deputies end up going to prison with Lee Baca, who was Sheriff Leroy Baca, that was the head sheriff, and Tanaka. And that's because they were abusing inmates and then covering it up. But FBI slipped an informant in there, and they beat him up and was moving him around and talking about he was going to court and all this and that. All along, they had him in a hole trying to let him heal up because they had beat him up. They was moving him around. The feds came in, but 21 officers, 21 deputies ended up in prison behind that. The sheriff, Leroy Baca, ended up in prison behind that. His understudy, Tanaka, ended up in prison behind that. Do your research, look it up. So, you know how wicked these dudes can be. Some of these police can be. Now, I'm not saying all police are bad, but what I am saying is that there's a lot of police they'll see something that's being done bad and they won't say anything. Just like a lot of people that'll go with the flow because they're getting a little bit of money or they think that they're doing the right thing and everything. If you don't hear both of the stories, you don't hear both sides of the stories, how can you determine if something is right? One thing I do know is that I am a black man that lives in America, that I was charged with an 11-year-old murder case, yet I'm free. I know that during my arrest of that case, they put my child that's in their sleep right now, they put him in foster care. And I had to fight to get him out, but he's in his room right now, sleep. I do know that after all of that, then I filed a civil lawsuit against the LAPD, and the city of Los Angeles settled that lawsuit. These are not things that they do if I'm lying. But somebody that's telling a lie on me, the first thing they gonna say is, don't say nothing to him. It's just common sense, but it's just unbelievable how silly some people will be. Nowadays, with the smartphone, and people don't think. You ain't got to think. You ain't got to remember stuff like that. We do everything. We rely all on this technology and stuff like that. So it's like people losing their brain. But then you got to think about the stuff that's in the food and everything else. But, just common sense stuff. Common sense stuff. But like I say, I'm living in Tennessee, and I was in Memphis. Now I'm in Dyersburg, but I'm dealing with people, that's helping these people that are criminals. These people are putting blacks in jail. These people are experimenting on blacks. These people are killing us, and now it's every race is put in the same category. It's no longer just a thing about going against black. It's a thing about rich people versus poor people. They fooled everybody else to think it's about a race. They don't care about the race. It's about money. It's about power. So people better wake the hell up. They killed the boy Nipsey. Somebody, was behind that. I don't just think that was due because it's if you a rat, you doing everything you can to stay out of jail. So you damn sure ain't finna just go up in broad daylight and cameras and everything and just pop a dude like Nipsey. Come on, man. It's suspect all over that, and then, like I say, mental health, that's what they were trying to put out there about me to quiet me, mental health. But, when you represent yourself, it's a judge that has approved that, because if you have a mental ailment that prevents you from representing yourself, that's a violation of your constitutional rights. But not only that, of course, my attorney wanted me to go and see a psychologist because we need that report in court. But not only that, been raising my kid, have my own business. Come on. But all this bullshit, I'm these people slander me with, I'm talking in my sleep and don't know about it, doing all this old weirdo shit. I don't know about it. Hold on. You're the same girls that had the contract with Film On Productions, right? The film company, the internet live streaming company. Come on with this bullshit. And if people can't say it's bullshit, if people can't see it's bullshit, well, that's the problem with the world today. That's the problem with the world today. People should really. This dude is a dude that I've gotten. I've started watching his YouTube videos. Sitting around a little. His name is The Real Merkabah. MERKABAH. This is definitely a YouTube video that people need to watch. Another obvious situation or not. Excuse me, catching a cold. But it's people asking him questions about the Nipsey Hussle murder. And do they think that that it was just some random hood shit that happened and he got killed, or if it's something more behind that? Of course, there's something more behind it. Anybody that knows that area, anybody that's ever been to that area, grew up over there, it's some bullshit to that. It's some bullshit to that. That just ain't anybody just gonna get over there and get close enough to pop him. But like this dude was saying, everybody that's a leader, that's leading us, everybody that's stepping up and helping black people, they always end up getting killed. Nipsey was a dude that was doing a lot in the neighborhoods. He was, when people come home from prison, couldn't get jobs nowhere else. He was providing with jobs. He bought that whole little shopping center over there, that whole little area where a store was. But he was giving people jobs. He was buying up property. He was educating people about finances, about investing, stuff like that. He was contributing money to the schools over there, and people know there's a couple of schools over there, elementary schools. He was doing a lot of stuff over there, but he was also making a documentary about Dr. Sabi, the holistic doctor or whatever that was talking about he got a cure for AIDS. So, it's just, it's going to always be them trying to keep their foot on our neck. But what's so cold about that is they use our own people to destroy us and to keep us down. And like I said, it ain't necessarily got to be a race thing. It's about rich and power. And that, people that got money and people that got power trying to control. These people use these women and use my own family and gave them money and everything, and my own family went against me. That's why I don't really mess with my family. It's going to be somebody that's close that try to infiltrate and try to take me down. And, I've already been through a lot. My kids already been through a lot. I'm trying to get back on my feet, trying to get my life back to somewhat normal after all the mess that we've been through. My son, I'm still dealing with, him being traumatized by all of this, by these women, and these police are mixing with these police and, trying to protect their investment, their illegal business, the legal stuff that's organized crime. Yet police won't investigate it, won't do nothing. Department of Justice won't do nothing. I've written so many people, every kind of activist group you can think of. But because these people are putting this video out of me and all this old bullshit, that's why I decided to make a video so you people can see for yourself. It's bullshit. But I'm gonna show you all of the paperwork. I'm gonna end this video right now. So I'm gonna be getting up pretty soon, get ready for school. But I'm gonna finish posting this paperwork today. I'm kind of putting in a little collage where to go. You can see all the paperwork and you can pause it and go through it yourself, read it yourself. But in any event, all of this stuff is public record. It's all public record. There are dudes that are using my case in LA County now to beat their cases when it's been bullshit involved. I guess this officer don't like the fact that that's happening. He don't like the fact that whenever he arrests somebody and he present evidence, their attorney will contact me and want to fly me out to California to testify to what this officer did to me and my kid. I don't really want to do that. I just want to be left alone. But since these people are not leaving me alone, since these girls is everywhere I go, they slandering me, my own sister with her weirdo ass, but she's a Christian. And this is why you have so many youngsters that don't believe in the Bible, so many youngsters that don't practice religion, so many youngsters that are into Satanism with the Ouija boards and all of that stuff, because you got Christians like my sister. You got Christians that's listening to my sister, go along with her when you know what she's doing is wrong. It's one of the reasons why I don't go to church. Now, through this dude, he's providing a lot of history that, I never knew about, because when you're in school, they don't really teach you about our history before slavery. So it's a lot of stuff that you don't really know and didn't know until I started listening to this dude, until I started doing a little research. And, it's a lot of those stories that were hieroglyphics. And because I draw and I used to draw hieroglyphs and stuff like that, I kind of know a little bit about that stuff. But it's a lot of those stories that, they were hieroglyphics and they just kind of changed the characters and stuff like that. I don't know though, but it's more to look into. My whole family, we were raised on Christianity, Now, how do you all of a sudden just, come to the terms that everything that you've been taught might have been just to control you? And they've always taught you don't check into stuff, just with the Bible, have faith. Now, I definitely know it's a higher power. Definitely know it's a higher power, because the first month that I was in jail, no, the first week I was in jail, I prayed that I had the victory. And it took 13 months, but I did get the victory. Then after that 13 months, it took another 2 years, and I did get my son back. And then that same day, I settled a case or got a little money where I was able to get up out of California. So there's definitely a higher power. There's definitely somebody praying for me, because a whole lot of stuff I avoid, a whole lot of people help me, and a whole lot of people that I don't even know over social media look out for me. So there's definitely somebody praying for me, definitely somebody looking out for me. But at any event, I'm in this video right now. Next video is coming soon. And also, I'm going to get on this paperwork so I can post everything up there. I just showed, some pictures and everything. But I'm going to show you the pictures of my sister. I don't have a picture of the girl, Adriana. But Rashida Renee, that was my girlfriend before I went to jail. And I'm going to tell you about her and how she plays in all of this. And her and my sister was working together. And then they ended up, all of these ex-girlfriends didn't know each other. The only way they knew each other was through my sister. And that's how this whole little circle comes in. And then the girl that was contacted by the police or whatever was messing with the police officer. This is how this all came together. On my civil complaint, you will see where it says Detective Thomas Small, Detective Louis Carranza, and Doe's 1 through 10. What that means is John or Jane Doe's, like Jane Doe, if you go to jail and you're a female, you don't want to give them your name, then they call you a Doe. So they'll say Jane Doe. If you're a dude and the police beat you up, so you don't want to talk, you don't want to cooperate, when they're booking you in, you don't tell them your name, then they call you John Doe. So it says Doe's 1 through 10. And I can only assume that means there's 10 of them, or maybe 7 of them is between 1 and 10. But I'm going to show you what it says. These people were working for the police, and they did conspire to have me falsely arrested. And the police did falsify evidence, and it's unbelievable. But I'm going to post the paperwork. You read it for yourself. In the event I get back late,